I'm out mountain hiking today, and like an idiot I was going to run up that with this new backpack I have, a fairly light one. I think it's a 30 litre, or maybe it's a 30 litre I think. But I have been up here before, but I was on a track over there, and then on a really rainy day I was on the track I'm going up today. But running, I got about 4 steps and then started breathing really heavy. So you know, a bit of training yet to go. But there's supposed to be a lovely lake up there, and then up a bit higher a waterfall, but it's so dry and hot today, unusually in Ireland. I would say it's at least 28 degrees Fahrenheit, which is, you know, it takes a bit of acclimatization for an Irish person. So I'm going to take it easy on myself, take loads of breaks. But it's 4 o'clock now, so I don't have that much time to relax, because I don't really know exactly how far, a couple of kilometers I think off to get to the loch, the lake, and then the waterfall. But it's very there are steep sides on these mountains, even though they're not that high. I think it's about 750 meters these mountains are, but very rugged kind of terrain. So we'll see how well I do and whether I get there at all. And you won't see much running footage, because look at it, bounces up and down anyway. I don't have any stabilizer on the camera to compensate for the movement. But the backpack is very comfy when I do run. It seems to be just in the right size range and has all their straps in the right places and everything, except for a chest strap. It doesn't have that. But that's an easy thing to rig. So I'll go on without filming for a while, because I'm just wasting time here, because I'm bouncing around if I move, but I obviously have to keep a pace going to get up there. I'm spoiled with the track though, you know, so I'm not going to fall into a deep hole, not for a while anyway. So while we admire the view from hopefully halfway up, anyway, I can tell you that the sort of training that I'm doing is incomplete recovery training, which I do when I'm running. And I haven't been doing much running, so my hamstrings are giving out. My lungs are slightly giving out from the hills. And but I would do this the same way walking or running. I get really out of breath, and then when I get really out of breath, I pause for not more than 2 minutes, wait till my breath comes down to this, more or less. I can talk, but it's still slightly elevated, and then I set off again, and you get a training effect that way, with your lungs being able to handle more efficiently, send oxygen to muscles, and handle the flow of oxygen better. So it's good training. A bit easier rather than a bit harder is the way to go. So I don't want to rest more than this, because my heart rate is settling down too much, and I want to keep it very slightly elevated. So 2 minutes rest usually gets you back to just slightly elevated heart rate, which is your heart range, which, you know, there are calculations for you to work out your optimal heart range for training, for running or walking, you know, going up hills. So I'm on another one of my 2-minute breaks. I'm nearly recovered, but you can see the coast a bit, and you can see in there something I was looking for earlier. I was looking for it for a couple of days and couldn't find it. A lake, and you have to go through a forest to get to it, and I knew it was somewhere opposite this other lake you can see over here. And I'm trying to learn how, on this thing, to navigate from a known point exactly to a place on a map you're trying to get to, using an Ordnance Survey map. So I didn't manage just trying that yet, but I'll keep working on my skills. And they're all good skills. There's a lot of stuff that you cannot find when you're down. I was going to say street level, but you know what I mean. That's my secret lake. I have a couple of videos of these places. I'll put one of the videos in at the end. Maybe not the Secret Lake one, but you know, I'll put in the other one from the same channel that's of me going up this hill on a really wet day. Totally different experience. It's pleasant today. I better set off again because I've almost fully recovered now. I don't want to fully recover. I want to get that good training effect so I can run up here later in the summer maybe. That's what I'd like to be able to do. Here's another cool piece of kit I brought with me, and I was able to discover, having a good peer at it, that that lake is not in the forest anymore. Sorry, my camera just fell over. I was holding it by the lid. Or a flap, or whatever you call it. They cut down that part of the forest. That's why you can't really go by... Can't always go by landmarks because they might not be there. You're better off with landmarks like standing stones and things like that, of which there are several around here, but you have to know what a standing stone looks like, and they can look a bit different. Bloody enormous stone, just look out for a bloody enormous stone if you're looking for a standing stone. But sometimes it's a square thing, and sometimes it's an oblong thing with writing on it. You saw a standing stone in my video going to the beach. So that one, I know how to get to it now because there's a little bit of a turf cutting bit of a field there. One of the few left in Ireland now. They're trying to ban it, I think. But they've cut all the trees from around the Secret Lake. So I should have been able to find it last time, but I was going up into that forest there beside it, trying to get through the trees to it and failing miserably, and that's why you still couldn't see it from the forest road, you see. So you see a lot from up here that's very interesting, makes you want to stop. Even though I shouldn't really be stopping this much, but you know what, as long as I keep an eye on the time, it's all good. Oh, I've scared him off, he's a bit nervous of me, but they're all in there under rocks looking for shade because they got their big woolly coats on and they're roasted. So this is kind of the summit of the trail, and the view is stunning. I hope there's not too much wind. I'm trying to block it. Can't remember where the mic is. But I think I actually have to do a little bit of scrambling across that. King of the hill. Oh. He's very thoughtful, isn't he? You just have a look at the scenery. Look, a little sheep bothy. After a series of repeating summits, I found the real summit, and I found the lake and the waterfall as well. So I'll show you before we go back down. Can't get down to them though, that's the thing. I'd have to leave that for another time. The route, you'd have to mess around and figure out the route because they like to do guided tours and they won't just show the routes online or anything, you know. Out of stone. The whole thing crashes down. Oh, it's fenced off, and there's a hell of a drop down there, you see. But that is the lock. And I am not going to try and find a ray around the back there to go down. Because I do not want any complications on the way down. But you can see the river down there. Maybe I'll even get to explore those ones someday. There are plenty of them to explore, aren't there? Fun. Okay, I got back on the track. I went the shortcut on the way home, which probably wasn't a great idea. I thought I'd follow that fence, but oh my goodness, there was a lot of scrambling and just very hard work. So it should be easy from now on. And my e-bike is waiting for me at the bottom of the hill as well. Just getting to twilight now and the midges are out. Now the little birdies are going to bed. But I'm nearly back at the bike and I'll be home soon. Big dinner. Probably soup and cheese sambo, so that they don't have to make very much, and lashings of tea afterwards to rehydrate. Always a plus when your bike is still there.